Hey everyone, welcome back to Unfiltered. This is week 11, and if you're just joining us, my name is Nikki, and I have been recording my journey for the last 11 weeks, just sharing about my experience on the GLP-1 drug Zepbound. And the thing that I've discovered in the last few weeks is that it was never about the weight, and I'll get into that in a minute. But what I want to share is that I'm also so thankful that I decided to document this both with you here and also just to record the weight, do the InBody scans that were offered by my gym and to measure myself and to take the before and after pictures, because if I hadn't been doing that, I honestly would have quit by now, because my perception about what I'm seeing in the mirror hasn't changed at all. I still see the same body that I've seen every single day, even though the clothes are telling a different story, even though the weight on the scale that I stand on every single morning is telling a different story. But my eyes have been lying to me. My brain is computing something different, and it's telling me that nothing's different. So the data and documentation has made all the difference. And I measured myself today. I am down 2.5 inches around my hips. I'm down an inch to an inch and a half on every one of the three waist measurements that I took. So I did 2 inches above the belly button, at the belly button, and then 2 inches below the belly button. And I'm down between 1 to 1.5 inch on every single one of those measurements. I also did my third InBody scan at the gym just last week. And from the first one that I did when I first started to the middle one where I had about plateaued, and now to the third one, there's a pretty major shift. Of the 10, 11 pounds that I've lost, and of course that fluctuates, right? It's like this, it's a downward trend, kind of like the stock market, but there's days where it goes up again and then comes down, obviously depending on what I've eaten, maybe my consumption of water and all of those other things. And if I've had a cocktail or something, then I'm going to definitely see a spike because of all that sugar intake. But the thing that I was amazed at is that of the 10 to 11 pounds that I've lost, only 2 of those pounds are actual muscle mass loss, which is something that we all know to look out for. A, as we're getting older, that's something to look out for. But B, it's definitely a side effect of being on this drug. It's kind of why sometimes you see those people who look quite emaciated when they're on this drug, because you have to train your mind to eat. And this was something I have to thank you for, because in those early videos, many of you commented that be mindful about making sure that I get enough calories and protein. And I really took that to heart. And the big success for me was this week. I showed a before and after picture to a friend whom I hadn't seen in a while, and she was amazed. And she's like, "What are you doing?" And I was honest, I'm not hiding the fact. I'm not trying to say that, oh yeah, I'm just doing this all by myself and pure willpower. No, I was honest. I told her I was on this GLP-1 drug for the last 10 weeks. And she said, I would never have guessed that, because you look really strong and you look really healthy. And we got into this conversation about some people who she knows, and I've certainly seen that too with a friend, one or two friends, where they forget to eat, or they're surviving on just coffee, and they're losing significant muscle mass, and they're looking emaciated and sickly. She told me about the story where she actually asked a mutual friend about someone that they knew who looked so sickly that she's like, is this person okay? Is she unwell? Is there something terminal going on with her? And I was very clear that I never wanted that. Like, I wanted this to feel like this was a marriage of using the drug as a tool, but that I was going to work out just as hard. And this morning in the gym was proof positive of that, because my personal trainer, yes, but in the spin class that I have been going for almost over 8 years, the spin instructor, she commented on just how strong I was and my form was. And the other win this morning in the gym was that, as I've shared with you over the last few weeks, like about being bikini conscious, right? I've never worn a bikini, and so what I did today was wear a tank top to work out that was just covering, that just ended right above my belly button. And then, of course, my bike shorts were below. And so I had this layer in the middle that was basically bare. And of course, you're over a spin bike. So then if there's a roll, and I still have a little bit of a belly roll, then it's going to be visible and accentuated because of the way you're leaning forward on the bike. And I would be lying if I said I was not conscious at all of this. I certainly was a little bit self conscious of that. But again, as I've shared before, in most recent shorts, like no one was watching me, no one cared about the way I looked. I kept stealing glances at myself in the mirror, but no one else was cared that I was wearing clothes that to me felt empowering, if I'm to be really honest. I really, really did feel very empowered. I want to talk about something else that I've realized as a result of this weight loss journey, that this was never about the weight loss. My body has been trying to tell me something for years, and it has been holding on to weight as a protective armor because I've poured everything from myself into my work, which I absolutely love, into my family. I've accommodated everybody's needs before my own, and the body has a way of keeping score. The body has a way of giving us data if we choose to listen, and I just wasn't paying attention. The weight was a manifestation, a physical presence and a physical reminder of me not taking care of me. By putting the needs of my work and my family above my own, I was depleting myself. I was shrinking. I can't say that I'm invisible, but I definitely was shrinking everywhere except physically, where I wasn't shrinking, I was expanding. It was my body's way of countering this being small, in and for myself. And now that I've started to prioritize my needs, and of course, we're taught on an airplane, the first thing that the flight attendants tell us when they're doing the pre-flight training is put the oxygen mask on yourself first. And so taking care of my health, prioritizing my needs, not depleting myself. I mean, there's so many analogies, right? You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't drive your car with an empty tank. All of those things that I intellectually know, but was still not emotionally or physically doing for myself. I believe that this is the reason that the weight stayed stuck. And now that I'm making this connection and realizing it, the weight is finally able to release. So it's not like I'm losing weight, I'm releasing weight because it doesn't need to have this protective armor around me anymore. I thought I was documenting weight loss, but this is a lot bigger than just weight loss. This is recognizing, and thanks to the data, I can see that yes, there has been weight loss, there has been inches lost, there has been a significant amount of fat lost. My body fat percentage has gone down from 26% to 23%, 3% body fat loss. I am now in the healthy BMI range for the first time in, I don't know, over 15 years perhaps. I don't remember any time where my body fat was down that low in the 20s. All of this has been because it was taking care of me. And now that I have awakened to taking care of me, my body can release. Physically, it can release and say, okay, you're awake, you're doing what you need to do, you take care of you. Self-care is not selfish. Self-care is selfless, because when we take care of ourselves, and I'm seeing this proof positive, that I'm a better mom, I'm a better wife, I'm a better employee, I'm a better manager, and I'm a better community member, because there's more of me to give, because I'm feeling filled up and I'm feeling abundant. And so here I am, week 11. I'm about 9 pounds away from my goal. I've settled in for the journey. I've stopped stressing out about the scale going down and a pound, up a pound, because ultimately it's a downward trajectory and it'll happen when it's meant to happen. And I'm here for the long haul. And I think the reason why the scale is doing this, and it's not just a downward trend, of course, or just a downward slide, is because I need this time for my brain to catch up, for me to create long-term healthy conversations around what I deserve for myself. The medication has been a great tool to support me, and I think I've already shared this with you. I don't plan to be on it forever. But in the meantime, it's giving me the space that I need to create healthy boundaries for the people around me, with the people around me, and allowing me to focus on my needs. Because in doing that, I am healthier and happier, and therefore the people around me who care about me are also happy. If you like what you heard, if this resonates with you, I invite you to subscribe and like this video and perhaps hit that notification bell. I'll see you next Sunday. Thanks for watching.